Okay, so here we are again with the January 22nd, 2017 edition of the Waldoboro Scoop, a weekly update of the goings-on in beautiful Waldoboro, Maine, where I do the news and you bring on the comment. I am Dookie, and good day to you all. A special thanks to all my subscribers. If anybody wants to discuss anything that I covered in a story, the Waldoboro Scoop's Facebook page is the place to do it. Just comment along with the corresponding video. We're all neighbors in this town. We have our own opinions. We need to be able to express them and have conversations without retort. Not to mention, I love the conversations. So, just a reminder, I am personally doing this as a service to other residents. I receive no pay or royalties. It's just me and my take on things. For more information, please check out the credits at the end of this video. And no, I will not be covering any national news this week. I've heard so much about it, I am sick of it. Disgusting. Don't even want to hear anymore, so I'm not even going to cover it. My prerogative. Now on to the news. Folks, I've got some sad news today, so let's get it out of the way. Around 1 a.m. this morning, the Waldoboro police were called to Riverbend Road, which is just off of Winslow's Mills Road, for a domestic disturbance. Sergeant Jamie Wilson and Patrolman John Lash responded to the call. There was an exchange of gunfire between the police and John Allspaw, 57 years old. Allspaw was a resident of the home, and Allspaw was fatally wounded. Officer John Lash was shot and later released from Miles Hospital. Apparently, his bulletproof vest absorbed the brunt of the impact. There are so many things that are going through my mind right now that I really don't know what to say. I guess firstly, thank God Officer Lash was wearing his vest at the time. It probably saved his life. Allspaw was a member of the town's Conservation Commission, and having met him myself personally, I would never have thought that something like this would ever have happened. Either way, it's a sad day for Waldoboro. We've lost not only a resident, but someone who cared enough to volunteer his time for the betterment of Waldoboro by sitting on a committee. And a Waldoboro officer was shot and injured. I wish a speedy recovery to Officer John Lash, and I wish peace and healing to the family and friends of resident John Allspaw. Okay, at their emergency meeting last Tuesday, the Select Board voted 3-2 to appoint interim town manager Bert Kendall, pictured here. The meeting lasted a lot longer than I had actually anticipated due to a conversation regarding whether an 8-page contract was necessary for this temporary position or if a 1-page agreement would have done the trick. And didn't I ask this last week? Anyway, in the end, one board member abstained because, not because of the candidate, but because they did not agree with the form of the contract, and one board member abstained for unstated reasons. The remaining 3 votes passed the motion, and it's probably a good thing because, this is really last minute, and the interim town manager started the very following day, so, we had to get something going, I guess. My take on this? Well, I'm glad you asked. We went with a contract, which means, it means spending taxpayer money on a lawyer. As an afterthought, I've got a few questions that are kind of left unanswered. Like, do we really need a contract for a temporary position like this? Maybe for additional security or even just to cover our ass? I don't know. Would a simple agreement, as opposed to a contract, constructed by the Select Board and the interim town manager together, saving lawyers' fees, would that have been enough? When is enough enough? I don't know. Should the incoming interim town manager had more interaction with this whole process? I don't know. Could or should the process have been made much simpler just due to the conditions of the whole thing. I don't know. And the reason I don't know is right or wrong are relative, obviously. My right could be your wrong due to beliefs, upbringing, educational background, etc., etc., etc. You know, we see this crap every day, locally, nationally, and globally. I have my thoughts, but they won't match yours. At least not all the time. If I were to put my personal opinion in here, it would be no different than all the other trash you can get on social media or everywhere else, especially Facebook. So if that's kind of what we're looking for, then you got plenty of it out there. I'm just not going to deliver it here. My intent is to report the local news straight up and maybe ask some questions to get you thinking, you know. I have a little bit of experience and background in local politics, local government, so that kind of would give a little bit of a different perspective, a little twist on things. I might be able to fill in some of the blanks for everybody. You know, what happens locally affects us all at a personal level, be it taxes, ordinances, whatever. So either way, I encourage you to watch the 12-minute video of this particular meeting on LCTV. It's very informational, enlightening. Email me if you'd like me to send you a link. But either way, no matter how you look at it, the board chose a great candidate. Let's hope they do this well with a permanent town manager. Bert's credentials are impressive. 50 years or so of municipal government within the state, outside the state. Plenty of experience. Before that, he served in the U.S. Army in Vietnam and was awarded the Bronze Star for service. He also sports a Bachelor's degree of Arts with a government major from Bowdoin College here in Brunswick, and he got his master's at Plainfield, New Jersey in public administration, along with a plethora of other skills and community service related to the position, and that is a mouthful. Can we keep him for a few months until a permanent manager is hired? Only time will tell. I'll keep you posted. I've met the guy. He appears to be a terrific candidate for the position. I feel that he'll do a great job for the town of Waldoboro over the next few months. And I kind of wish, of course, you know, I haven't worked with him enough, but first impressions, I kind of wish he'd stay on as a permanent manager. But he is he's semi-retired, so, you know, we'll give him that. As an update to the other positions that are still up in the air, the Waldoboro Recreation Director and the Finance Clerk positions are still waiting to be filled. Maybe this week will bring us some good news here. Also, Town Manager L.J. Briggs, her last day was Friday the 20th. And for scheduled upcoming meetings, there were 3 board and committee meetings scheduled for this upcoming week. The following meetings are public and being held at the town office conference room unless otherwise indicated. Communications Technology Committee meeting scheduled for Monday evening, January 23rd at 6 p.m. And there is no official agenda posted as of yet, so I can't report whether or not there's business or not. The regularly scheduled Select Board meeting is for Tuesday the 24th at 5 p.m. The meeting is being called early due to a workshop entitled Select Board Priorities. When the regular meeting starts at 6, there will be a public hearing for a liquor license renewal for Laura Cabot, doing business as Laura Cabot Catering. This is an annual license which just needs to be signed and approved by the board. There'll be a welcome for the new interim town manager. He'll be there. There'll be a follow-up from the chair from a meeting he had with the Utility District Board regarding a private sewer line which serves several buildings at the beginning of Friendship Road. Number 11, number 13, number 15, and number 17 are the buildings that were being spoken about. There'll also be a discussion of whether or not the board will pursue a moratorium on marijuana facilities, etc., due to the legislation that was passed by the voters at the state level. The approval of an order of demolition for derelict properties will be filed with, or will be discussed whether or not it will be filed with the Lincoln County Registry for a few condemned properties in town. And a discussion regarding the creation of a Sylvania task force to possibly create future opportunities for the property there on Friendship Road. There will also be a boilerplate approval of an agreement with Interstate Septic. This is an annual contract to provide a place for residents to dispose of their septic waste. It's where the truck goes after it picks up your sewer, your septic, to dump. Interstate is usually the place where we have been going with them. It's the agreement is for $2,300 for the year. It's the same as last year, no inflation. We love that. And there'll also be a item to discuss the availability of registering boats and trailers online. The town could participate in a program to register boats online. So I invested a little bit, talked with some people that know much more than I do about this. Basically, if we, the townspeople, participate in this program from the state called Rapid Renewal, here are some of the facts. You would be able to renew your registration from home with an internet connection and a credit card if the town chose to participate in this program. You would not be able to process a new to you registration. So if you purchased a new vehicle or purchased an older vehicle but it's still new to you, first registration, that has to be done by the state requirements at the town office or at a state bureau of motor vehicle due to the documents that need to be processed along with that. Our town would lose some of the excise tax and all of the agent fees because the state would take them. These revenues, they help to offset the expenses of the town. You have your revenues and your expenses. And basically what that means is for every online registration that's processed, the town would be getting less revenues to pay for those expenses. Each registration will slightly increase the amount of taxes, basically, that need to be collected by the town, resulting in an increase in your property taxes. So that's kind of a downfall there. The town does offer re-registration by mail. You can call ahead. They will give you the cost of the registration. All you do is you send a check, a self-addressed envelope, and a quick note saying what you would like to do. Also include, don't forget, a copy of your insurance or have it faxed to them and the current mileage. They will process the registration and mail it back to you post-haste. On a side note, while we're on the discussion of registrations, please keep in mind that registrations are a state function provided by the town of Waldoboro. The state requires certain documentation to process registrations, especially a new-to-you registration. If you do not bring in the proper documentation to register your vehicle, they cannot register your vehicle. It's your fault, not the public servant behind the counter. Bring in what you need to bring in. If they have to send you away to pick up some more stuff, then just go ahead and do it. But it's not the person behind the counter's fault because you don't have all the documentation. So, if you feel strongly about this topic of online registrations, one way or the other, I would encourage you to contact one or more of your select board. That is what we elected them for, to voice our opinions and not theirs. So the only way they're going to get opinions is if they hear it coming from you. So their contact information is on the front page of the town's website, www.waldoboromaine.org. The third meeting scheduled for this week was the planning board meeting, and that was going to be on Wednesday. It has been canceled, so don't bother showing up. Now on to the weather. Last week I did pretty well. It was a little cooler than I had predicted, but all in all, a decent prediction. Let's take a look at what next week's going to bring. For your 7-day weather scoop, it looks pretty warm today. 39 degrees for a high, great day. Unfortunately overcast. All week long we're looking at above freezing temperatures for your highs, and possibly getting up into the mid-40s Wednesday and Thursday. I do see some precipitation coming Tuesday morning very early. It'll start off as snow, but by 5 a.m. it should have changed over to rain. We're expecting somewhere around 0.85 inches of rain. So get ready for that. It's going to rain all day long. And that's it for the weather for this week. This program is funded exclusively by A+ Recycling and Rubbish Removal. A+ removes rubbish regularly for home and commercial accounts to help keep your property clean. Open 7 days a week, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.